Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Kenya Electoral Commission has confirmed President Uhuru Kenyatta winner of the 2017 presidential polls. Kenyatta defeated his longtime political rival, Raila Odinga, polling 54.3% of votes against Odinga's 44.7%. This will be Kenyatta's second term in office. The election conducted on Tuesday was pronounced free and fair by international observers including the European Union, the African Union as well as the Commonwealth. Opposition leader Odinga has however rejected the results, calling it a fraud. Odinga has lost the last two elections, claiming fraud in both cases. Nigeria's military on Friday raided a United Nations camp in Borno State, northeast Nigeria. Spokeswoman for the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, Samantha Newport, confirmed the raid. She said security forces arrived at about 5 a.m., carried out a search of the camp and left at about 3 hours later. She added that the UN has no information on the reason for the unauthorized search. The United Nations, alongside other aid groups, provide humanitarian assistance to millions of Nigerians affected by the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast region. The Nigerian army has denied conducting a raid on a UN camp in Maiduguri, Borno state capital. The army, in a statement released on Friday, said it carried out search on the property because it had credible intelligence that some Boko Haram insurgents had infiltrated the area. The army also added that the building was not marked as a UN base. The Nigerian military had in the past week intensified search for leader of Islamic sect Boko Haram following 40-day ultimatum for his arrest. Boko Haram, during its 7 years insurgency in Nigeria, have killed over 20,000 people and displaced millions of others. Protesters seeking the return or resignation of President Muhammadu Buhari under the umbrella of our Mumudondu movement on Friday clashed with pro-Buhari protesters in Abuja. The two rival groups confronted each other on the streets of the Federal Capital Territory over President Muhammadu Buhari's continued absence from the country. The president has been in London for the past 94 days on an indefinite medical vacation. The anti-Buhari protesters are demanding a full disclosure on the health of the president.
I've always said that the future of the Nigerian survival rests in the hands of the exceptional Nigerian youth.
Well spoken.
Because if the Nigerian youth cannot rise up to retrieve their stolen future, there is no future for them in this country.
Yes.
Because we don't see that the atmosphere everywhere is surrounded by very old people who should actually be put to pasture, who should actually be sleeping. That say we youths go there for this country. Now so old sick people, now then they rule us. It cannot happen again. Nigerian youths, wake up from your slumber.
The president, if indeed is a man of integrity as he claimed, should have resigned after 1 month of his incapacitation. If they bring the president back now, it's just arrangee. They will arrange him, put him in a room, arrange him to see press, take pictures with people. Posterity will be unkind to Muhammadu Buhari for what he's doing to Nigeria. Posterity will be unkind to the cabal in Aso Rock. Posterity will be unkind to the police that they were using to tear gas us.
The West that were emulating their democracies, Luxembourg, Belgium, even a traditional state like Saudi Arabia are fast beginning to replace old men with young men. Yes. It is what is going on, it's the now propensity that is going on in the world right now. You either embrace it or you fall behind. Nigeria will not fall behind. We will not fall behind. We have gathered here conscious men, first-rated Nigerians, because some are sitting.
The presidency has condemned protesters demanding the return or resignation of President Muhammadu Buhari. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, described the group as an illegal assembly formed to frustrate the ongoing war against corruption. He, however, praised members of the Coalition for Good Governance and Change initiative for their support and commitment to the Buhari-led administration. Hundreds of Nigerian protesters on Friday stormed a crude oil flow station owned by Shell in the Niger Delta region. The protesters are demanding jobs and infrastructure development, saying they were not benefiting from oil production in the area. Oil giant Shell is yet to issue any official statement on the protest. Militant attacks on oil facilities have largely stopped following peace talks by the Nigerian government and stakeholders in the oil-rich region. The militants have, however, threatened to resume attacks if their demands are not met by the government. The Nigerian government has warned promoters of hate speech to desist from making comments capable of plunging the country into war. Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Garba Abari, gave the warning while speaking at a news conference in Abuja. He said sensitization visits and advocacy campaigns to settler communities were ongoing to douse ethno-religious agitations in the country.
In order to address the concerns caused by the several agitations by ethno-religious interests that have also led to illegal quit orders and the counter orders against one another and some communities, the National Orientation Agency has directed all state directorates and the community orientation and the mobilization officers to commence peace building, sensitization, and advocacy visits to settler communities to assure them of government's commitment to their safety and security. Also, the agency will soon embark on a nationwide advocacy campaign against hate and intolerance, which will focus on leaders of thought in all states of the Federation. These campaigns will underscore the federal government's commitment to building a united Nigeria where all citizens can pursue their legitimate aspirations. Our messaging will emphasize the following: the obligation of settler communities to live in peace with their host communities, the illegality of the quit notices issued by these ethno-religious groups, the efforts of government at all levels to build peace, stability, and promote dialogue, the responsibility of the security agencies to protect all Nigerians irrespective of religion, political affiliation, or state of origin, the obligation of all Nigerians to report all suspicious persons to security agencies, the need to discourage local communities from using hate speech.
Nigerian filmmaker and girl child education advocate Zuriel Oduwole had a sneak peek review and private screening of her latest documentary film for 150 youth and children in Lagos State. Titled Follow the Ball for Education, the film was screened in Lagos. TV360's Ngozi Okoye has more on that story.
It's an exciting time for these students at the Civic Center in Lagos, where young filmmaker Zuriel Oduwole is having a private viewing of her latest documentary film. And before long, everything takes shape and everyone settles to see the latest work of Zuriel. The documentary is basically about Zuriel's campaign for the education of the girl child. She has taken her campaign across countries, seeking support for her project by urging individuals to sign the significant ball for education. 15-year-old Zuriel, who started her film project at age 9, has made 5 films, traveled to 12 countries, and spoken to about 24,900 children across the world.
This event today is really a private screening because the actual documentary hasn't premiered yet. It's going to premiere in Abuja next week. But what I wanted to say, I wanted to do a private screening and show groups of school kids the documentary so that they can be inspired by it. And basically the documentary, I created to bring more awareness to girls' education. Because as you may have seen in the documentary, it took 2 footballs to 6 countries across 3 continents to get people talking about girls' education. So that's what the documentary is about.
Some of the students want to know how she was able to achieve so much at such a young age. This is what Zuriel has to say.
Being homeschooled, it means that as long as I have a computer, as long as I have internet, I can do my schoolwork anywhere. So I can do it at home in Los Angeles, I can do it in Lagos, Nigeria, I can do it in Mauritius, Tanzania. As long as I have a computer and internet, I can do my schoolwork. That's how I'm able to balance both these things. I have a family who supports me. There's my mom, my dad, and my parents' siblings. We usually try and shop me wherever I go, so they support me whatever I do. But then it's also prayer, because my family always prays for me, I pray a lot, so I think prayer also plays a main role in me coming this far in case I've done.
And beyond the screening of her film, Zuriel takes out time to take her audience on the art of documentary filmmaking. Some of the students say they feel encouraged to dream and live up their dream, and urging parents to invest in their female children.
I've learned that no matter how old you are, whether you've lost your parents, your grandparents, you can still achieve something that even people with all they have cannot achieve. Today, I learned that whatever you want to do, whatever you have in mind, any desire or vision, that you should make sure you work towards this, because even people may be criticizing you that this thing you can't do it is far more than what you think of. You should just make sure that you work towards it, and even though there will be some challenges on the way, we should just make sure we move towards what we want to be, and we should focus, because that's the only thing we can do to reach whatever we want to, wherever we want to go. And I also learned that no matter how small you are, it doesn't matter. Once you have the desire to do what you want to do, and you have the interest in you, you can do anything you want to do. In Nigeria, our country, parents believe that girls are not supposed to go to school, that because they end up in the kitchen. But that's not true, because we can see we have president of a country that is a woman. So we can see that girls in the country are also working towards the success of the country.
Other highlights of the event is this dancing competition by the students. Speaking with TV360, Zuriel appreciates some African leaders on their efforts to ensuring education for the children, but say more still needs to be done.
Mostly it talks about education policies with girls' education. I can give you examples. There's presidents who have invited me back to their countries so I can see what they're doing. There's, for example, there's the president of Tanzania, President Jakaya Kikwete. Then in 2013, he invited me to come and see the work he'd done in building new schools and getting more children into schools. There's also Namibia, where children up until the age of 16 get free education. So I am seeing some work being done. I can say in general, South Sudan probably, because they have one of the highest rates of girl marriage in the world. So usually by the age of 11, 12, girls are already married off, so they're already not in school, not getting educated. That's why I spoke to the president of the country, President Salva Kiir, about this issue.
Zuriel, who at her age is expected to enjoy her summer having fun with her peers, has events lined up in her pursuit to influence leaders of the world to take more action and education to ensure every child gets the chance to be educated. Ngozi Okoye, TV360, Lagos.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has warned that excuses will no longer be accepted in the implementation of the Economic and Recovery Growth Plan. Osinbajo made the statement at a cabinet retreat on the Economic Recovery Growth Plan and implementation and the 2018 budget preparation. He urged public officials to be disciplined and positive-minded while carrying out their various duties to achieve success. The Office of the Senate President has dismissed dozens of aides in a bid to cut down costs. It is reported that over 90 people were affected in the cutback. A special advisor to the Senate President on Media and Publicity, Yusuf Olaniyonu, confirmed the development, saying the downsizing was based on reports from a review committee. Last October, legislative aides staged a warning protest at the National Assembly over unpaid salaries and allowances. At least 128 Nigerians deported from Libya have arrived the country. Deportees comprising 126 males and 2 females arrived late Thursday at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. Also, 41 Nigerians were deported from 7 European countries over immigration-related offenses. They were deported from Australia, Switzerland, Hungary, Netherlands, Germany, Norway, and Denmark. Close to 2,000 Nigerians have so far been deported in 2017 alone.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so.
Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We are only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
You're watching news now on TV360. Nigeria's state oil firm says it supports the government's plan to increase power generation to 10 gigawatts. To show just how committed it is to this idea, the NNPC has unveiled plans to expand gas generation and distribution nationwide. NNPC Group Managing Director Mike Antibaru disclosed this during a meeting with the Nigerian Gas Association led by its president, engineer Dada Thomas, in Abuja. He says the corporation expects that amount of power generation to also be steady in the grid by 2020. NNPC says its current effort to connect the eastern part of the country, where there are a lot of gas reserves, with the west, where high consumption demand exists, demonstrates readiness to impact positively on the power sector. The Naira remained steady both on the investors' foreign exchange window and on the black market. This comes as dollar liquidity rose on the back of offshore inflows. The Naira gained to 364 to the dollar on the black market at the end of trading today, compared to 365 recorded last week. CBN has been injecting dollars into the market to strengthen the Naira. Earlier this week, the Apex Bank said it boosted the forex market by offering a total of $195 million in 3 segments of the market. Oil prices fell by 1% on Friday to their lowest in more than a week. The fall came after the International Energy Agency said market rebalancing was taking time despite strong demand growth because of weak OPEC compliance with output cuts. Brent crude was at $51.42 a barrel, down by 48 cents, while US crude was down 48 cents also at $48.11 per barrel, reaching its lowest since July 26th. IEA says OPEC's compliance with the cuts in July had fallen to 75%, the lowest since the cuts began in January. It cited weak compliance by Algeria, Iraq, and the United Arab Emirates. In addition, OPEC member Libya, which is currently exempted from the output cuts, steeply increased output. 3 times as many migrants have arrived in Spain so far this year compared to the same period in 2016. This is according to the International Organization for Migration. IOM says 11,849 people have arrived in Spain so far this year, compared to 13,246 in all of last year. According to reports, migrants have resorted to traveling through Spain owing to its safer routes. Olympic quarterfinalist Aruna Quadri began his quest for IWTF Nigeria Open with a comfortable victory in the round of 16. The tournament Olympic quarterfinalist Aruna Quadri began his quest for the IWTF Nigeria Open with a comfortable victory in the round of 16. The tournament, which began on Wednesday, is expected to end on Sunday. About 20 countries are participating in the tournament, which has the second highest prize money in the IWTF ranking. Competition at the IWTF Nigeria Open has stepped up another notch as Top Guns battle for a shot at the crown. The round of 16 began with the men's single as crowd favorite Aruna Quadri took to the courts. As expected, the Nigerian crowd was fully behind the home favorite, who did not disappoint by winning his match comfortably. Aruna was not the only top seed playing on Friday. Defending champion Ola Bebedek also began his attempt to defend his crown. He defeated Nigeria's Ajulo Olakunle to win the match. Nigerian table tennis legend Funke Oshonaike, who opens her game on Saturday for the women's single, explains the importance of the tournament for Nigeria.
This is the best tournament in Nigeria. You cannot actually compare it to any other tournament because, for example, we have a good organization, and this year we have more than about 22 countries, representing. So I'm so actually proud of Nigeria for this kind of a tournament. My role is to actually help the talent in Nigeria. Like I told your colleagues, we have a lot of talent in Nigeria, but unfortunately, they don't have the basic equipment, and that's what I'm actually trying to do.
An IAAF official also explains why Nigeria was chosen as the host country in the IAAF World Tour, explaining the importance for the development of African tennis.
This tournament is very important now in Africa because it's the only one, and we have the participation of many players from all around the world. Now it's one of the biggest ITTF Challenge World Tour. That's why so many players are very interested to come here to participate, and with this mood with spectator also is very special. We know that Nigeria now is one of the biggest countries in table tennis in Africa with Egypt. And if we don't have a tournament from Egypt or Nigeria, it's not good for Africa.
The ITTF tournament will end on Sunday with a prize money of $46,000 for the winner. Morocco's Football Federation on Friday said it will bid to host the 2026 World Cup. It would be Morocco's fifth candidacy, having come short already in 1994, 1998, 2006 and 2010. In April, the United States, Canada and Mexico announced a joint North American bid to host the tournament. If successful, Morocco would become the second African country to host the event, following South Africa in 2010. Neymar is finally set to make his PSG debut against Guingamp as French Football Federation confirmed the player's transfer certificate has arrived. After being presented as a PSG player on the 4th of August, fans expected to see Neymar in action in the club's first league match of the season. However, it was reported that the player was unable to play as his transfer certificate was not sent to League One administrators on time. Neymar, who has been in training with his new teammate, will now make his first appearance for his new club on Sunday. Well, that's all on news now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.